What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I have been a bit naughty today. I've been out and got a fair few fish for the fish room. Let me show you what I've got. So as some of you may know, I've got a golden cobra snakehead in this tank, and I was on about getting him a pair on the last video, so that is exactly what I've done today. So let me show you what I've got. So I have got another golden cobra snakehead in this bag here, just acclimating, ready to go in. My original one is just at the bottom over here. He is a bit smaller than the one I've got here, but this is the smallest one I could get hold of from Glenn at Fluval Aquatic. So he's got me this one here, absolutely beautiful fish, very similar to the one I've got now. We've also got him some corridoras, the sort of sieve through the sand here. They should be absolutely fine in here. They are quite big corridoras. A lot of people will probably go, you're insane putting them in this tank, but I think they'll be absolutely fine. This snakehead isn't big enough to sort of swallow these. That's what I'm hoping anyway, and Glenn did say in the shop they should be absolutely fine. And then we've got some supersized Danios here, which I'm basically adding in the tank to sort of take the new snakehead's mind off my other snakehead. And they should be fine as well, I'm hoping so. I've seen a lot of people online keeping snakehead with like Danios, other things like that, so we should be fine with that. Now in this tank here, I was in Maidenhead's Aquatics in St Albans today, and I was actually there last week and I was talking to the bloke there, and there were two peacock bass in a tank in there, and I said, how much you want for them, what are they? I knew one of them was a mono, the one at the back there, it's a little mono. This one here is a hybrid, so I don't know which one this is yet, but it's going to be exciting to see these fish grow up and see what they are. Now, some of you are probably thinking I'm mad getting peacock bass for a tank this small, but obviously I've got bigger tanks, so I can move these fish around eventually. So, but I was really bored of this tank. I've only got a few birches in it. There's about 4 birches in here and a couple of Bristol-nose plecos. So it was just sort of a holding tank, sort of grow out tank, and I was really bored. There's nothing sort of moving around the top, so I thought they'd be perfect to put in this tank for now. Obviously they're probably staying here for about 3 or 4 months, and I can move them into the tank behind me with the Oscars and arowana, because bass do grow really fast, and yeah, they take the food like absolutely crazy. I love these fish when they feed. But yes, the mono bass and a hybrid type here. I don't know what it is yet, but we will do a separate video on these bass eventually, finding out what they are. Sorry about the stain, I've got a bit of stain on the water there. But yeah, I've got birches in here. There's not a lot really going on, so really bored of this tank. So really cool getting some new fish added to it. But there is the new golden cobra snakehead, just in that bag there, acclimating, ready to go. And that is my original one down there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the lights off this tank, because they shouldn't be on right now. I've only put it on just for this video. Get these fish acclimated, and then we'll come back out in about 10 minutes or so and then start adding all the fish. So I forgot to say in the last part of the video, before we add these fish, I've got to be really careful obviously, because I've obviously got 2 snakeheads in here now. So what I'm hoping is we've got a pair. I'm hoping, well, the one I've got is a male or a female, and this one needs a male or a female. So I'm hoping there's a male and a female going in here, but it's really hard to know that yet. But yes, fingers crossed the snakeheads will be absolutely fine together. My plan is to get a pair of these guys, because honestly they look really cool together as a pair, sort of swimming about. So that is the plan, but obviously I'm going to have to keep an eye, a real close eye, in the next few hours, next couple of days or so, to see what goes on. Obviously if anything happens, I have to bag the new one up and sort of take him back to the shop. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen. And I tried looking for some floating plants, more floating plants today for this tank, but I couldn't find any in any of the shops. Then what's going on at the moment, there's no floating plants in any of the shops. So that is the corries and the Danios in the bucket ready to go. These corries are actually pretty big, to be fair, looking at them, so I think we're going to be fine. The Danios, hoping they're going to be fine. They should be okay in this tank. Obviously the reason for putting these in is to try and, so I said earlier, try and take the snakeheads' minds off each other, and hopefully they settle in together. But I did want another sort of fish swimming about in this tank, sort of picking things off the bottom and stuff, so that's why I've got these fish. So fingers crossed we'll be fine. So I've just turned the light off for now, just to get the fish settled in a bit more. I'm going to start adding the small fish to the tank now, and then obviously I can put this new snakehead into this bucket and then sort of net him out and put him in the tank. So let's do that, and then obviously we're on to the peacock bass after that as well, so more exciting stuff to come. Man, these fish are absolutely sick, check him out. So I've had this temperature set to about 21 degrees on this tank, but obviously I've added corridoras into this tank today, so I've turned it up to 22. I'm not going to keep the temperature any lower than 22 though, because it was just a bit scary for me. I've never ever kept tropical fish. I know it's subtropical, but I've never ever kept tropical fish underneath sort of 24 degrees. So when I was turning the heater down the other day, I turned it down to 21. I was a bit like iffy about it, you know. But a lot of people said you need to keep the snakeheads like sort of under 20. in the winter months, but I'm going to keep it about 21, 22, and then bring it up sort of in the spring sort of time. So hopefully we should be fine. But the cories need it from about 22, something like that. They probably live at 21, but better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to lose the cories. Actually, to be fair, looking at this snakehead now, the bag was magnifying him massively, so he doesn't actually look that big right now in this bucket. Looking at my other one, he is a little bit bigger, but not massive amounts bigger. So fingers crossed, guys, we've got a male and a female here, or the other vice versa. And later on, maybe they can breed sort of in a 6-foot tank later on. But they should look really cool together in this 3-foot tank just for now. But obviously this isn't their forever home. I'm going to get a bigger tank built for them. ND are actually building me a tank for these guys. And yeah, it should look absolutely wicked. So guys, there's our other golden cobra snakehead. So he's not actually that big, to be fair. My original one is just gone under the wood there. He's quite shy, my original one. Just creeping out around the back there. Just see him down there. So he's not that much smaller than this new one, which is really good. I was really worried when he was bagging him up in the shop. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's so much bigger, but he's not. So let me go and get a bigger net, put him straight in the tank. So what I'll do, I'll quickly turn the tank light on for you so you can see me adding him. There we go. If you hear footsteps in here, I've got one of my Yorkshire Terriers in here right now, so probably going to make a bit of noise. So they've just seen each other around the back. Mine's a little bit smaller, it's not a massive amount smaller. It's quite actually a nice size with them two in here together now. So obviously all of the fish are going to be very stressed today because I've been messing about their habitat, and there's a new fish been added into the tank. Well, quite a few new fish added into the tank. So let me close this lid up. Okay guys, so all of them are in here now. So this is the new one at the back here, if the camera focuses, and my older one is just over there, sort of chilling at the bottom. It looks a bit like a birch right now. And the danios are at the top there. I've got about, I think it's about 12 danios sort of swimming at the top. So fingers crossed they do fine. They get a little bit bigger than this as well. But here comes the new snakehead. And the corridors, there's a few in the wood there. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I love these fish. But we'll come out in a few hours anyway, see how they've settled down. Hopefully they settle in really well, but there hasn't been any aggression at the moment, which is good. So fingers crossed it stays like that. But in the next few days we'll figure out what's going to happen. But here's the cories, they are quite big cories. So I just wanted something to sit through the bottom because there was a lot of sort of uneaten food and stuff like that. But obviously I've still got to put these two peacock bass in this tank. So I know this one at the back's a mono. This one at the front, I haven't got a clue what it is. It looks like a hybrid. So if anyone out there knows what this fish is, I've actually got a really good mate who's into his peacock bass. Check his page out, Aquarium Monsters Hearts UK. He's on YouTube as well, go and check him out. So he's probably going to be watching this as well. But if anyone else knows what this is, write in the comments below, because I haven't got a clue what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's some kind of hybrid. Anyway, let's get these in the bucket and put them straight in the tank. Looking at this one right now, the one that I think is hybrid, it looks like a mono in this tank. So what do you guys think? I think the one at the back, the smaller one, is definitely mono. The one at the front is mono with something else. But yeah, really hard to tell. But let me know what you guys think. But check him out. Look, you can't beat this, man. You can't beat predatory fish, especially the bass, the way they eat. Honestly, I've had bass before. I've had Temensis and stuff. Honestly, it's wicked, man. I love the bass. I love the way they take food. This is what I'm all about, the predatory fish. 100%, this is what I'm into. But look, I've put them in this tank. They've been in here probably 3 minutes and they're already smashing food. So I can't wait to get back into the bass. So yeah, absolutely sick fish. I love this. The snakeheads are doing fine. My smaller one's at the bottom there. The big one's just coming through now. So look at the colours on him, man. Absolutely spectacular fish. Just going out for a bit of air. Absolutely beautiful. It's got a little bit of ammonia burn in its eye from obviously being in the bag, but they're doing fine. Look, you can see them next to each other now. So fingers crossed, guys, we've got ourselves a pair here, and later on, like I said, we're going to put them in a bigger tank. But let's give it a few hours and we'll come back at it and see all the new fish have settled in. So guys, it's been about 2 minutes and I had to show you this. Both the snakeheads were actually swimming around together a minute ago. I quickly just grabbed the camera. There's the bigger one here. But they were sort of swimming together, and the back one was sort of whacking its fin, and It looks like they're settling in really well. I hope it's not sort of fighting, like a fighting dance to show who's boss, but they seem to be doing fine. You can see my smaller one just at the back, big ones at the front here. But let me give it a couple of minutes. I'll stop talking for a minute and let's see how well they settle in. But obviously I'll come back out in a few hours as well and show you what's going on. You can also see the bass in the other tank as well, look. So this is the most my snakehead's ever been out. Now, is it really hard to tell right now if they're male and female? Because I don't know how to sex these guys at all. Is it something to do with their fins? Is it something to do with the size of their heads? Maybe their back tails? I don't know anything. So if anyone out there is a snakehead master, there is obviously a bloke at Wolf Aquatics called Alan. If you're watching this, mate, comment on the video to let me know which one's a male and female, or if they're both males or they're both females. But I know obviously they're quite juvenile fish. It's going to be very hard to tell. But I'm going to let them settle in now for a good few hours and then we'll come back out and see what's going on. Okay everyone, it's been a good couple of hours now since you've added all the fish. I'm going to do a bit of a feed tonight, see if any of the fish come out and feed. Guarantee you the peacock bass feed, because they always do. But the snakeheads are just under the wood over here, so I don't know if they're going to feed tonight. But I've got some fish size cichlid pellet, floating pellet tonight, put in here, and the Danio should feed this off this stuff as well. So let's see what happens. So I've just put some in, tiny little pellet this stuff, it's like this sort of size, it's tiny, minute pellet, look, so there's my hand against it. But it's really good stuff, there's no rubbish in it or anything like that. So the Danios are eating that. Obviously it's going to take a while for them to break down. But I'm trying to get the snakeheads out and they're sort of chilled out at the back. They are together, which is quite cool. But there hasn't been any fighting, which is really good. So here's the bass, I'm just about to put some pellet in at the top, let's see what happens. Right, so the pellet's in. It might take a couple of minutes for them to figure out what's going on, because I think in the shop they were just feeding bloodworms all the time, which is not good. You want to get your fish onto some good pellets. So let's give it a couple of minutes. Let them realise that there's pellets inside the tank. There we go, see that? So there's that little mono, literally just took one of those little pellets, spat it back out. And it keeps going for it. You see the birches about us now as well. Right, so I chucked in a couple of them fish science pellets, so they might not be too keen on them. So I have got another pellet here I can try. So I've just chucked in another pellet. So yeah, here goes the bass, look. So they are feeding off them, but they're sort of spitting them back out, which is a real good sign because it means they're hungry. But obviously if they're used to like crappy food like bloodworms all the time, I need to wean them off it and get them onto a really good pellet like all my fish are on. See the birches having a nice munch at the top there on the pellets. But remember, it's not even been a day yet since we've had these fish, so it's going to take a while to get them on eating some good food. But you can see the colour difference between the two bass now. So the one at the back is definitely a mono, the one at the front is some sort of hybrid. I don't know what it is. It's definitely got mono in it, but yeah, it's going to be good to see how he transforms over the next few months. But they're such cool fish to watch, especially as juveniles. Because obviously they do take food so fast and they grow so quick. That's what's so cool about them. Right, I'll leave them guys to it, but I will definitely get them on pellet in the future. I better close that lid as well. So let's get back onto the snakeheads. So I'm going to put a couple of bits of this sinking pellet in there, see what happens. So it's just cichlid gold, Hikari sinking pellets. You can see the cories are going to probably go for them. But here comes the snakeheads. They're both at the back there. There hasn't been any fighting whatsoever. I haven't seen any fighting, which is good. They've been, I think it's been about 3 hours now, so it would be really nice to show these kites actually feeding on the video right now as well. Corridors are settled in really well. And the Danios are at the top, they're doing fine. It would be really nice to get the snakeheads out to show you. But obviously I will do updates from this tank and show you the snakeheads later on. But I have noticed since I've added the big guy, the bigger snakehead, my other one did come out for a while earlier. You want them swimming about like this really. You know, look how much of a feature fish this looks like, look. So it's always out and about, nice colours on it. It's just a proper fish, I absolutely love them. And with the Oscars as well, they're always out and about. So really interactive, they get to know you, and hopefully the snakeheads sort of do the same sort of thing as well, because these fish know who I am right now. Now the bass are definitely eating them pellets. You can see the mono at the bottom there having a good old chew on it. He keeps spitting it out, but at least he's getting a taste in his mouth, and he will eventually get used to it. Obviously they're going to get hungrier and hungrier, and they're going to have to eat eventually. Oh, sorry guys, I can't get the snakeheads out for you. I'll try my best. I fed them. Obviously they're still quite stressed because this one's just been added today, and the other one's been added into the other one's aquarium, if that makes sense. So they are quite stressed out. They are just chilling at the bottom. There's no sign of any fighting or anything like that, so I'm not too worried about them. But like I said, I will do another video on these fish soon. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll be fine, and I hope they're male and female. And you never know, maybe later on in the future they might actually breed. It would be really nice. But now I need to get on to ND Aquatics about their tank, because I am definitely going to have to get a bigger tank for them, because they're in this 3-foot tank right now. It's quite a big tank, to be fair. I think it's about 320 litres, something like that. So it's quite a big tank. They'll be alright for it in here for a while, but eventually they will have to get a bigger tank, that's for sure. But anyway guys, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching as always. Like and subscribe my channel, ding the notification bell, and keep it real everyone.